Hey everybody, Richard Freeze back here at the Bentonville Bike Fest. We are on the Saturday here, and I am thrilled to have my next guest after all of those highfalutin athletes. I have Gary Vernon, who is I want to get your title right, Outdoor Recreation.
My official title is Director of Outdoor Recreation and Trail Innovation
And Trail Innovation.
for Runway Group.
Runway is a curious, like civic private partnership. Am I right? Help us
It's
understand.
actually it's a for-profit business that is trying to make Bentonville, Arkansas, in the region the best it can be, the best place to live in the world.
And a lot of that is around outdoor recreation. The outdoor industry is reporting numbers, and we're going to have a great conversation because you're coming into my wheelhouse. People used to think you needed a factory to get jobs, that you needed to create widgets. But, you know, in the last 120, 150 years, had you told people in, you name it, the Iroquois nation that you're going to go up a mountain and slide down and that's going to be an industry, they would have thought you were nuts.
Yeah.
Travel and tourism, hospitality, outdoor recreation, sporting goods, on and on and on, entertainment, telecom. These are new economies. 21st century, where are we going with all this here in Bentonville?
Well, in Bentonville, this has been a perfect case study that if you have a small community that really had a major employer, which is the Walmart corporate headquarters, if you add trails to that community, all of a sudden you have this outdoor lifestyle. People want to move here
Right.
just to be part of that outdoor lifestyle. And it started with the 5-mile trail system in 2007.
5 miles.
5 miles.
And I understand we're building a little bit more than that today, right?
Well, we're up to 200 miles connected to the downtown Bentonville Square, 600 miles in the region. But really, we figured out that 10 to 12 miles in Bentonville transformed this community.
That was when it tipped.
Yeah, when we hit 10 to 12 miles, the people started driving in from the region to ride our mountain bike trails. Because that's enough to where you can ride 10 or 12 miles. You can ride them backward and forward and get 24 miles.
Sure.
But that, you know, if you look at the average, beginner to intermediate rider, they're going to ride 10 or 12 miles
Right.
in a day. But that amount of miles is something that any community can do. So we've proven that if you build trails inside a community and build them for all skill levels, it transforms the community. And we're seeing it happen around the state.
And it's an environmental thing. It's a public health thing. It is a civic thing. It is a community. It's become the new Main Street. Am I right?
It is what we're seeing is just people are happy in this town. There's a tangible sense of joy
Right.
for people that live here and people that come here. And we see so many people come here once, come back with their families, and then start looking for property. The people are moving to Bentonville and to the region because of this outdoor lifestyle.
And I understand there's a lot more to be done. You guys are still working it, right?
Oh, absolutely. Now, the formula that's worked for mountain biking, first of all, if you back up 20 years, it was really not a thing to build trails within the city limits of a city.
Of course.
And then on top of that, normally when trails were being built, if they were being built by enthusiasts for themselves, so there really wasn't a focus on the beginner. So we changed that in Bentonville by really focusing on all skill levels, beginner to pro, but really focusing on that beginner to where if you ride our famous All-American Trail that connects to the downtown square, it actually parallels a 12-foot wide concrete path.
Right.
So if you want to sample dirt, you can get off for a few minutes, and then if you're tired, you want to roll back to square, you get on the pavement, you can roll back to the square. So that has become the feeder to get people to try mountain biking. Now, the average beginner, if you took them to a national forest and put them on this horrible, tough trail, this is not for me. But at Bentonville, we're teaching new riders that this is a great sport.
There's like an estuary of development. And you add to that, a component of, you add that there's a bike share, that there are e-bikes coming in. It's of all ages. You've got a real powerful bike to school program.
Yep.
It really just shows at this festival that I see more parents and kids out together.
Yeah.
And it's like no other festival I've ever been to. I've been around for a while. Talk to me about that generational thing.
Well, first of all, when I moved here, I grew up just an hour north of here in Missouri.
Okay.
And I used to actually come down here in the 80s and race BMX on a little track at Springdale, but there really wasn't a bike culture here
Right.
And so 20 years ago, if you were riding your bike just to work, your neighbors thought maybe you had a DUI, you know.
Right.
But really, when you add mountain bike trails and get people to recreate on a bicycle, it really is a good transition over to commuting as well.
Right.
So, but also when you add trails to a downtown square that connect to neighborhoods and connect to schools, all of a sudden you make it really accessible and easy if you're focused on the beginner to get families to ride. So when other families in a neighborhood see a family recreating together and going down the road and jumping on a trail, well, if they can do it, maybe we can. So,
Right.
and the visibility of these mountain bike trails, again, from the greenway, from the paved trail, you can see the dirt, you can see small children and people of all sizes and ages and colors out there riding, then it's really easy to try it. And that's what's
Right.
happened. This has been a wonderful experiment of bringing trails to town, and it's worked.
And by trails is like the word cheese. It can mean a lot of different
Yeah.
things. Paved, unpaved, natural, technical, pump tracks, on and on.
Well, we have had the ability to really try a lot of different things, and we recruit the best trail builders in the U.S. to come here and help us do, think of whimsical features, let them do their art. Let's work together and create something that's fun. We know that, my son was born the same year that this Bentonville Trail System was started.
Okay.
He's 18 years old. And he was my case study. What does he like to ride as a 4-year-old, an 8-year-old, a 12-year-old, and a 16-year-old? And so really we knew that early on a 6 or 8-year-old does not want to suffer in the woods riding a single track,
Right.
but they will climb a hill to go down a roller coaster fun jump trail.
Right.
So build some of that. And also we have weather here, if you haven't noticed while
I've
you're
heard,
here.
yeah.
And we get heavy rains. So we're even experimenting with different soil types, mixing crushed stone, even making hard surface flow trail that eliminates a lot of the maintenance. We still have our dirt, but we're experimenting with chip and seal, with all kinds of blends, again, of what percentage of crushed stone sand mixed with clay, and it can hold up better.
Tell me a little bit about it's interesting you say this because, the people that were born in 1955 when they passed the Interstate Highway Act, and when they graduated high school, all the interstates were done. And as a result, we were a country of people with respiratory problems, obesity, diabetes. Tell me about the public health metrics that you're seeing, and also some of the civic elements around loneliness and what kids are reporting and what we're seeing, because we've got a community that's the glass has been taken down between us.
Well, it's obvious that there's been studies, and the studies are clear that if you just get outside in nature,
Right.
it's a mental health benefit, and the more you're outside in nature, the more the benefit is real. And we see that here again, just that tangible sense of joy and that vibe we have in our town. Our kids are, and now if you add in getting outside in nature and being active, that is a double benefit. And
Sure.
do we have any? We don't have any strong metrics right now. We're studying it, but it is anecdotally we see the differences.
Oh, I can see it.
Well, yeah, and just spend some time in the downtown square on our Slaughter Pen Trail System, and you will see happy families, happy people riding together. Kids that are not even riding with their parents, 10, 12-year-olds in groups riding to the square to get an ice cream cone. It's amazing. But we are capturing that data and trying to figure out, first of all, how many people each year are continuing to ride our trails. But also we do have the economic data that, there's $157 million economic impact to this region, these two counties together annually because of trails.
I've been picking up brochures, inns
Yeah.
and shops and restaurants that cater to the bike community.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's 60% of our riders are from outside the region, so that's real money coming into the region. That's what we're trying to really talk to other communities around the state, and if we host communities around the nation. We've hosted several
Sure.
countries coming here, and
Right.
we have these Trail Lab 2-day conferences and talk about how trails have benefited our community.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, let's be honest.
Yep.
When you mention the word Walmart, the connotation outside of Bentonville is the strip mall, the car-bound culture, and let's face it, that's the American economy in the rest of America. But you guys are like you're not being proprietary about this. You are exporting this model. You see the value of this all across the country.
Absolutely.
Am I right? Tell me
Absolutely.
more about that.
It's important for our youth. I mean, we got to get more kids on bikes, or we're going to have a real problem as a nation.
Right.
And now, I will tell you, Walmart is building a new campus, in the middle of town. There's going to be 4 miles of single track on that campus.
Wow.
And you'll be able to leave your desk and do a lunch ride. We're going to have youth races on their campus. We're going to have a greenway trail that flows through there where you can, be on a bike.
Sure.
And Walmart corporate headquarters has a very lofty goal to get 10% of their workforce riding their bikes to work.
Worldwide.
Well,
or here.
Starting here, which is
Okay.
17 to 20,000 people, 10% of those riding to work every week.
That's
on a
a
bicycle.
massive thing.
And then when that goal is met, the goal will be raised.
Because
and the
most
incentive will go-
Americans, 1% is like 1 to 2%.
Yeah. And
Everywhere.
again, you back up 20 years, it was not normal to be on a bike.
Oh, that's me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The barbecues we would go to. You mean motorcycles? You're like,
Yeah.
no, bicycles.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a kid here on a cell phone. I've been walking around all day. I haven't seen a kid on a cell phone.
Well, the thing about it is, if you're riding a bike through the woods, you can't look at your screen.
Right.
And we try to make our trails so fun, it's better than that video game you'd go home and play in your room.
Yeah. And just in terms of I know that People for Bikes does conferences here.
Yes.
This is sort of the Bentonville miracle. Are we seeing this? Talking about the exportation of this, and how many other cities and communities? Do you have any case studies of other town planners that come here and want to pick your brain?
We have twice a year, we have what we call a trail lab, and there's 40 spots in each trail lab, and they sell out, and there's a waiting list. So we've had communities here for years, and not only we do those twice a year, but we bring in communities. Our Visit Bentonville president, Kayleen Griffith, hosts communities all the time, and we all get together and take them on tours, kind of an ad hoc trail lab.
Right.
I have lost count of how many communities we've talked to. But what's great about the industry coming here, and we want this to be an industry hub. We want to pull from California and other locations. Come to Bentonville. We've got all these trails. Cost of living's better. The weather's wonderful most year. You can ride 365 days a year. Come to Bentonville and put in a headquarters here. If nothing else, put in your research and development here. We got all these trails, and we'll build a suit to where you can test out your equipment. So
sure. Well, the arc of my career has gone from my cycling world as it has to be from Italy to where it has to be from California, then it has to be from Colorado. What you're telling me is now it has to be from Arkansas.
Well, it's fun to listen to. I mean, this week I've talked to many friends in the industry that continue to come here, and they're like, you guys are the best place to ride. So, and we've got a lot more coming. We've got bigger hills to play with and more whimsical features, and we learn something every week on how to build better trails that are sustainable and fun.
I tell people, because I've met Tom Walton, a lot of people have, and couldn't have been a more down-to-earth guy. Approached me to talk.
Absolutely.
But talk to me about because most people are really, there's a stereotype of Sam Walton, and what's it like to work for this family?
Well, I'll tell you, I met Tom accidentally when he was 23. I'd heard about a trail. Again, my son was a 10-month-old infant, and I was pulling into town because I heard about a rumor about a trail going into Bentonville, didn't believe it. Saw a trail, pulled it, and the first mile was going in at Slaughter Pen. Pulled in, grabbed my son, and hiked on the trail and ran into him. And then we become, friends and riders. And I was working at Walmart, had a great job as an environmental director, and was just doing projects for him as a volunteer.
Sure.
And that turned into a full-time role nearly a decade ago. But he had a vision as a 23-year-old to do this. Now the vision has obviously evolved over the years, but he's a visionary.
Right.
And just very creative, and his brother Stuart complements his vision with his business acumen. And those two together are very gracious and brilliant, but also they get things done. So all my years at Walmart, I was helpful because I can come and execute their vision. So that's what my role is, and help come up with ideas and be that person out there working with all these artists, trail builders.
Well, the thing that really impresses me about this festival is it's it's our chance to really showcase this. Talk to me about the genesis of this festival. It's version 4.0 with versions 1 and 2 were during COVID.
Yeah.
You happy with what you're seeing? Because I'm pretty
Well-
blown away.
Well, Kenny Belay, I met him back in 2012 when he came here, and we've been fast friends ever since. And he attacks an event like this like the world champion he is.
Right.
He is out to be the best at everything he does, and it shows. He pulls his team together, and he's built a world-class team, and they use the assets that we have and the support he can get from this community. And this is the best event of the year, in my opinion. And that's saying a lot because we have a lot of events.
I've noticed. Yeah.
And you know what? We're proud of what Kenny's done. We're proud of Bike Fest, and we want to see Bike Fest continue and to grow.
Well, I know that I've been to most of the big festival, most of the big races, my first time here, and I think I'm marking my calendar for year over year. So can't say thank you enough for joining us on the podcast. We're going to catch in. We're going to check back in a year, and we'll keep this report card open.
Sounds great.
All right, so that's it from right now. Thank you again for the Runway helping us out this year at Bentonville Bike Fest.